Welcome into Drew's Daily Diamonds for Sunday, March 30th, 2025. I am Drew Martin breaking down the slate of games. We got the final tickets punched here for the Final Four happening on Sunday. Two earlier tip-offs, do note, guys, but the last games for the Elite Eight here in the NCAA tournament. Let me know in the comments below where you agree, where you disagree. All is welcome. Any questions, fire away. Your picks for today. For national championship futures, all is welcome, guys. Smash that like button if you're liking the content. As we got first game up, 2:20 Eastern, 11:20 a.m. Pacific on CBS. We are heading to Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana. Tennessee and Houston as chalk prevails here in the Midwest region. It is the 1 seed Houston Cougars and the 2 seed Tennessee Volunteers. 124.5 being the total, -2 and a hook. That is Houston as the short favorite. 33-4 for Houston, 30-7 for Tennessee. We get the top team in the Big 12 versus Tennessee here. Went on a run in the SEC. Obviously, the number 2 seed themselves. Two very good teams. Hey, if you're of the ilk of defense wins championships, the winner of this one might win it all. It is a clash of similar styles here. Both teams physical, great rebounding, great defensive teams. I mean, it's number 1 versus number 3 in terms of defensive efficiency, nationally ranked. We get Houston giving up 58 points per game. So they're holding their opposition to under 60 points. And Houston offensively is the number 1 3-point percentage team in the country. I love the good defense and being able to knock down their threes. That is a great profile to bet on. And it's also a team that has not lost on a neutral court or a road game since all the way back in the month of November. They just played Purdue, who Purdue isn't a fast team by any means, but they won the game 62-60, so 122 total points scored. And now they're going from Purdue to Tennessee, who actually plays slower pace than Purdue, one of the slower teams in the entire country. And Tennessee, I mean, they're a great defensive team as well. Number 3 defensive efficiency, which I just threw out. They just held Kentucky to 65 points and 6 3-pointers. So if they can hold Houston anywhere near just 6 3-pointers made, they got a real shot to win this game. They've had improved guard play, which we've talked about before. Ziegler, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, they just held UCLA to 58 points and then Kentucky to 65 points. I don't think we get a whole lot of points here. Now, the odds makers are onto it, mid-120s for the total. If you made me pick a side, I'd be on Houston. But instead, guys, I like this total and I like it under. 124.5 is out there. 124 seems to be the consensus number. But we get Houston under in 4 of their last 5. Tennessee, 2 straight to the under. I think this one ends like 58-56, something like that. Maybe 60-56, we'll call it. I think we stay under 124.5. So Tennessee and Houston under to tip us off in the final Elite 8 games for the chance to play in the Final Four. We got one game left here, guys. A reminder, if you could comment below, it does help out the algorithm on YouTube, growing the show, smashing that like button as well. I'll be in there chiming in as well on Sunday as we got premium picks available, WagerTalk.com. Do have a 5% max limit college basketball going on Monday if you want to check that out. MLB rolling as well on the diamond. We got 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific for the next tip here. This on CBS, State Farm Arena, Atlanta, Georgia. This is the South Region Final for the right to play in the Final Four next weekend. It is also chalk prevailing in the South Region with the 1 seed Auburn Tigers up against the 2 seed Michigan State Spartans. 147.5 being the total, -4.5 to as high as -5.5. That's Auburn as the favorite. Depends where you're shopping here, guys, but both numbers are widely available. So some differing opinions here, depending what sports books you go off of. Whatever team you like, make sure to shop around for the best number. We get Tom Izzo versus Bruce Pearl. Great head coaching matchup. I'll tell you this, doing some research for this one, Tom Izzo's 21-7 versus the SEC. He's a guy that's been to the Elite Eight, to the Final Four multiple times. This is Michigan State's first time being priced as the underdog since the month of February. So they've been on a heck of a run here, 22-9 against the spread. They've been cashing tickets. They covered their first 2 of the tournament. It kind of depends what number you bottom at against Ole Miss. It was 3.5. We'll count it as a loss, but 10-2 against the spread their last 12. And this is the number 1 3-point defense in the country. So if they can hold Auburn from making some threes here, which Auburn, if you watch that Michigan game, Auburn's going from playing Michigan to Michigan State here, the old Michigan two-step. Pettiford had 20 points. This guy can knock down some threes. They got Broom down low, one of the best players in college basketball, 22 points, 16 rebounds as well in the last game. They won by 12 and they won by 13 points against Michigan and Creighton. Talking about Auburn here, winning by double digits in the last 2 games. And coming from an Auburn alumni, I'll tell you this, I was a little bit worried about getting on Auburn because they were not playing their best basketball of the season at the end of the regular season into the SEC tournament, even in the first game. But since in the last 2 games in the second half, they've kind of turned it on here. They are playing better basketball. Man, it's the SEC and the Big Ten regular season champs squaring off. And one maybe last thing to put in your back pocket if you like the Auburn Tigers, this is in Atlanta, Georgia. So it's I-85, just an hour and a half from Auburn to Atlanta. We saw it on Friday night. There was a lot of Auburn Tigers there. There's a lot of alumni in Atlanta. So maybe a little bit of an edge here towards Auburn. In the low water market, 4.5. Hey, I'm wearing an Auburn hat. It is what it is. I'm going with the War Eagles side, Auburn minus 4.5. In the late game, the best bet will be on Tennessee and Houston under 124.5. And lastly, guys, I forgot this with Tennessee and Houston. That game is in Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana. We talked about it in the last set of games here. It's where the Colts play their home games, the Big Ten championship, I believe the MAC championship as well, a football stadium, and they're playing basketball here. We normally don't have to worry about that since the Final Four. And in the first 2 games here, they both finished under the total. So that's another kind of location add here towards betting the under in Tennessee and Houston. That will be the best bet of the show, under 124.5, Tennessee and Houston. And we got the Auburn Tigers minus 4 and a hook. That's it for the Sunday show, guys. Check out WagerTalk.com, experts page, Drew Martin for the 5% max limit play. Comment below, smash that like button, cash those tickets. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.